The Millionaire Midwife, Birthing the True Self. Episode 4. From Vulnerability to Resilience. Junko's Next Leap. After Junko's collapse at the front of the classroom, I wasn't sure if she would return to the next session. It's not unusual for students to withdraw completely after a moment of such raw vulnerability, especially in a culture where saving face is paramount. But Junko surprised me. The following week, she walked into class with her shoulders a little straighter and her eyes more determined. When I quietly asked her how she was feeling, she said softly, "It was hard, but I think I need it. I'm ready to try again." This was a turning point. For Junko, the collapse wasn't a sign of weakness. It was the beginning of her transformation. Vulnerability had cracked open her carefully constructed mask, and now she was ready to rebuild, not by hiding who she was, but by embracing it. The next challenge, learning to embrace mistakes. Junko's journey toward resilience wasn't smooth. In her next presentation practice, she faltered when she lost her place in her script. Her instinct was to apologize repeatedly, a common reflex for students unaccustomed to handling mistakes in front of others. I stopped her mid-apology. "Junko, mistakes are part of growth," I told her. "You don't need to apologize. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to learn and show your progress." This concept, that mistakes weren't failures but stepping stones, was foreign to her. In Japan's rigid educational system, where grades and test scores often define a person's worth, mistakes were something to be feared. But here in the classroom, I wanted her to see them differently. I taught the entire class a simple mantra. Mistakes are how I learn. They're proof that I'm trying. Mistakes are how I learn. They're proof that I'm trying. We practiced it together, repeating it aloud before every rehearsal. Slowly, I saw a change in Junko. She began to approach her presentations with a new mindset, not as a performance to be judged, but as an opportunity to grow. The first glimpse of authenticity. One day, I introduced an exercise designed to help students speak more authentically. I asked them to share a personal story, something meaningful that connected to their presentation topic. Junko hesitated, but eventually raised her hand. She told us about a time when she felt invisible, walking home from school alone while the other students chatted in groups. She described how she would imagine conversations in her head, practicing the words she wanted to say but could never muster the courage to speak aloud. "I think," she said, her voice trembling, "that's why I want to learn English. I want to be able to speak without fear." Her honesty stunned the room. Her peers, who had always seen her as shy and quiet, now saw her vulnerability. And instead of judgment, there was respect. It was a breakthrough. Junko had taken a step not just toward mastering her language skills, but toward embracing her authentic self. Resilience through support and community. As Junko continued to grow, she found strength in the support of her classmates. They began encouraging her during presentations, offering smiles and nods of reassurance. The once silent classroom transformed into a community of learners, each cheering for the other's progress. Junko started to smile more often. She walked into class with a quiet confidence that hadn't been there before. She still made mistakes, but she no longer let them define her. Instead, she used them as fuel to keep moving forward. Her resilience became an inspiration to others. She wasn't just improving her presentations, she was showing her classmates what it meant to persevere, to take risks, and to grow. The Millionaire Midwife connection, reframing vulnerability as strength. As her mentor, I saw Junko's transformation as a perfect example of what I called soul delivery. Just as a midwife guides a mother through the pain of childbirth, I was guiding Junko through the labour pains of discovering her true self. Vulnerability wasn't a weakness, it was the birthplace of resilience. Junko's journey reminded me of a powerful truth. When we allow ourselves to be seen as we truly are, we open the door to transformation. Authenticity is not just about being honest. It's about being brave enough to let the world see your imperfections. And in doing so, we inspire others to do the same. In episode 5, Junko's newfound resilience was only the beginning. In the next episode, we'll see how she begins to use her authenticity as a foundation for leadership, stepping into a role she never thought possible. How does a quiet student transform into a confident guide for others? Find out in episode 5.